regards to this year's Grand-Am Rolex Sports Car Series and the upcoming Rolex 24 at Daytona. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome also the members of the media who have called in on the Grand-Am teleconference phone line. You will have your chance to answer or ask some questions here a little bit later in the show. And we'll get back to you a little bit later with some instructions on that as we move along here. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce our panel on stage here, starting with on your left, Wayne Taylor, three-time sports car racing champion, team owner of Wayne Taylor Racing. We have Mr. Paul Blakely, who's CEO Americas of Velocity Worldwide. We have Max Angelelli, who is co-driver full-time on in the number 10 Corvette DP with Jordan Taylor, who's seated in the center there. And then on your right there, we have the reigning IZOD IndyCar Series champion, Ryan Hunter-Reay. Also, we have some special guests in the audience today. We have Mr. Jim France, who's the founder of Grand-Am, Vice Chairman and Executive Vice President of NASCAR, and Chairman and CEO of International Speedway Corporation. We have Mr. Ed Bennett, who is President and CEO of Grand-Am and NASCAR Senior Vice President. We have Mr. Mark Kent, Director of Racing for Chevrolet. And we have Mr. David Peugeot, who is Senior Vice President and Client Advisor for SunTrust Bank. And Mr. Jim Menego, Vice President for Siemens PLM Software. And those are our guests in the audience here today. So to kick things off here, our first announcement will be made by Mr. Wayne Taylor. Wayne, can you give us a little idea of what you have going on here sponsorship-wise?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this. This is an extremely exciting time for me and for Max, my partner in Wayne Taylor Racing, as well as Jordan, who's going to be the permanent driver with Max this year, and also welcome Ryan Hunter-Reay to be driving with us at the 24-hour. I believe Ryan and I drove together back in 2006, so we're very happy to have that. I want to thank also Jim France, Ed Bennett, Mark Kent, and everybody that's been very supportive of this series. And at the end of the day, I think everything comes down to timing. And I remember sitting here this time a year ago and wondering where we were going. Jim had made this game changer by us developing these Corvette cars, which was a really good idea, but still didn't really know. And then when the news came with the program with the ALMS, it just set a tone for bringing a new client, new sponsor into the series at ground level. And a year ago also, I had met Paul through Grand-Am. They were representing a brand that were interested in coming on the race car, and we'd talked during the course of the year about our business platform and how we entertain our clients, how we bring customers, and we built I believe, a successful business both for Toshiba and for SunTrust Bank. And Paul's agency in New York, we figured out fairly quickly that a lot of my clients potentially are his clients, and a lot of his clients are potentially my clients. And so he took it upon himself to spend the time this year to come to races. We had no intention of actually even talking about sponsorship. It was really something developing a relationship and understanding what this platform was. And in motorsport today, I think everybody is aware that finding money today in sponsorship is almost impossible. And so you've got to recreate ways of doing things. And so during the course of the year, we'd set up a great personal relationship, and we bounced a lot of stuff off each other, and we entertained some of their clients and so on. And they'd mentioned to me early on in the year that they were developing this new software for their digital platform. And I didn't even know what digital meant at the time, but I think I know now because he tells a good story, and I actually feel like I even tell a good story. It might be a lot of bull, but it's a good story. But no, I truly think that what Paul brings with Velocity Worldwide is, number one, they recognized this platform as a place to do business. And that I've got to give thanks to Grand-Am, and now, of course, Grand-Am and the ALMS. And I think this platform is going to become huge. And I think they've decided that their brand, they want to launch it with us in motorsport. And I think that they're going to bring stuff to the series, to the racing fraternity that's never been seen before. I think they can basically, with this new digital software, they can in real time give you exactly what the ROI is in your investment. And I'm very excited about it. We've not spoken to many people in industry. We've tried to build the brand and get ready for this day, but we will move that to the next step once we're through the 24 hours. So, Paul, thanks. Thank to your partners, and we're all very excited about this, and this is just a great day for Wayne Taylor Racing.
Well, thank you, Wayne. And once again, Paul Blakely, CEO Americas for Velocity Worldwide. Your company has devised a very revolutionary new product with regard to digital media, social media. Maybe talk a little bit about how this partnership came about from your perspective, and what you plan on doing to maximize your involvement in Grand-Am and racing in general.
Yeah, thank you, Laz, Wayne, Jim, Ed, thank you all for being here. Yeah, we first, as Wayne said, met about a year or so ago. And during that time, we as Velocity Worldwide were starting to reinvent our own company and reinvent our own business. And we knew that the digital world and the social media worlds and the mobile worlds were starting to be conflicted, and they needed to be converged in order to make them useful for our clients and the broader pool of potential clients. As a company, we set about doing that about a year ago. So we spent a significant amount of money developing this platform that we call Darius. You'll see our logo when it's on the car, and it's on the shirts. It's Velocity Worldwide, powered by Darius. And this Darius platform is very, very unique. It essentially converges all aspects of digital and traditional marketing channels into a single cloud-based hub. So it means for the first time, organizations, sponsors, for example, within racing, can in real time measure the impact of their sponsorship on the consumer or the customer audience that they're going after. So like again, for the first time, instead of waiting until the end of the season to quantify your return on investment, you can take control of that on a week-to-week, on a day-to-day basis to ensure that you're doing the right things throughout the year to ensure that there's a positive ROI in the spend. So we feel this is a revolutionary thing, certainly for sports in general. Why we chose motorsports was it was a very, very simple decision once we got inside the Grand-Am organization and understood how they did business. And this is just a tremendous business building platform. And we as Velocity wanted to take our baby, which is like the brand new business model and the brand new digital platform, and give it the broadest audience possible, but in a very, very focused way. So if you look at the ecosystem that resides from a business perspective within the whole NASCAR organization and Grand-Am, it was a very intuitive move for us to invest so heavily in getting into that arena, so we could have access to that ecosystem, because we believe very strongly that the methodology we have as an agency, that the platform we've built can help commercial partners of NASCAR and Grand-Am extremely more so than ever's been done before. So like we believe, like we're here to add value and we're here to extract value, but we want to do it in a very, very focused way. So like from that perspective, and then it became, okay, well, who do we choose to partner with? Because there were multiple teams, so it was either it's going to be NASCAR, or it's going to be Grand-Am. But once we spoke with Wayne and actually got inside his organization, there was never any doubt who we would approach to become a partner, because the work that they do behind the scenes for their commercial partners is incredible. Naively, prior to coming into racing, I thought a logo on a car or on a soccer field was essentially a vanity play, but like once you get inside and actually understand the true value of participation in a sport like Grand-Am, from a business perspective, then you get it. But you have to be on the inside. So I'm very happy to be the CEO of an organization that got to see behind the curtain, if you like, because we're definitely ahead of any of our competition by coming into the sport. And we want to, we want other private businesses out there to look at our participation in this sport and say, wow, what are these guys doing that we're missing? And if we do that and we can attract more people to the sport, then it'll only help the sport. The second point as to why it was so important for us to get in to Grand-Am this year in the 2013 season is because of what happened with the ALMS merger. Because we believe 2014 and beyond is going to be incredibly exciting globally and domestically. And we're a global organization. And so we want to really be able to, to ride that wave and to be with and help support the series into the 2014 merger, and then just push on from there and just really showcase to the world how valuable Grand-Am road racing is as a business building platform.
Very good. Thank you, Paul.
Could I just add something to one of the things with the B2B play that goes on during the course of these years? Over time, you hear this B2B play. I mean, you really need to do a lot of work and put a lot of effort into doing the B2B programs and make them work like we did with the good partners we have with SunTrust and Toshiba. But as you evolve, you've got to add more to drive more revenue, and you've got to add more to perform better on your ROI. And so what Velocity brings with their digital stuff, not only can they measure the ROI, they can also streamline some of the companies to generate more revenue for them. The program that we did initially with Toshiba and SunTrust was multi-million dollars. And I can see with this new platform that we can really go to the next step. And as far as race teams, drivers, owners, teams, this is going to be an area where anybody will be able to use this platform. There's so many agencies out there, so many team driver managers and stuff that, are trying everything to bring more money into the sport. We believe that these tools that we're going to have and bring into the sport, we want to offer these tools to the industry. And basically the branding of Velocity and Wayne Taylor Racing, the greatest part of this relationship is we're both as passionate about each other's program as we are. So working together has been just fantastic, and it's as exciting for me as driving the race cars that I did many years ago.
Okay, thanks again, Wayne. Now we'd like to